17 newsmakers now. Cut, cap, and balance passed the House yesterday thanks to the prodding of local Congressman Kevin McCarthy. But as you just heard in that story, experts don't expect it to pass the Senate. Congressman Kevin McCarthy is in Washington, D.C. He joins us live via satellite this morning to talk about the debt showdown. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on here this morning. The president says he won't sign this legislation even if it does make it out of the Senate. Where do you put your odds here this morning?
Well, it's the only piece of legislation that's made it out of either body. So it's the best thing moving forward. And think about what it is, Kiyoshi. It cuts current spending, which discretionary spending has increased 84% in the last 3 years. It caps it so government cannot grow out of control based upon inflation and the growth in population. And then it provides a balanced budget. So we're not in this problem again. You know, 16 years ago, we came one vote shy of getting the balanced budget. Had we not failed one vote, we wouldn't even be having this debate today. So here's an opportunity.
And I do want to actually break this down line by line here. This is according to the LA Times this morning. We want to look directly at what you were proposing. You would cut federal spending here by $110 billion in fiscal year 2012, cap future spending, and raise the debt limit only after Congress sent states a proposed constitutional amendment that would mandate a balanced federal budget. But that step would need approval by 2/3 of both the House and the Senate, something the LA Times this morning calls an improbable margin. What's your reaction to that?
Look, if you continue to hold back to say what this country can do, this country has risen to so many occasions. This problem is so large. The last time a balanced budget passed the House, the Republicans even had a smaller margin than before. Democrats voted for this bill as well, but you don't read about that. So this is a bipartisan that has an opportunity. You've got a short time frame here. If we're serious about solving this problem, Republicans sat and said, we will increase the debt limit. But we will only do it if we solve this problem, not have to come back to it time and time again.
Congressman, will you also vote to increase taxes, especially on wealthy Americans? I know it's something that Republicans have been very, very dead set against.
Look, Kiyoshi, we have the worst economy outside of the Great Depression. And if you go back just a few months ago when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker, when Reid was the leader in the Senate, and the President was still Barack Obama, and the Bush tax cuts were expiring, they did not raise tax increases. Why? Because they said you shouldn't do it in a recession. That same holds true today. I think the best thing to do is make America more competitive and create jobs instead of stop putting them down and hurting this economy.
Well, Congressman, you mentioned just a few seconds ago that Democrats did vote for your bill, but there's a lot being made of right now of the infighting going on within the Republican Party itself. New York Times, of course, their magazine did an entire piece on what a tough job you have wrangling everybody into the tent. How hard of a job do you have right now as whip getting some of the members, like Tea Party members, who don't agree with all of your proposals?
Well, if you looked at the vote, Kiyoshi, only 9 Republicans voted against the bill, so it was a pretty good vote. The other problem that's happening here is, what is the hard time? Having a president that won't produce a plan, having a president that won't lead. You have a Senate that's led by the Democrats that have not produced a budget in 812 days. So if the House is the only people that can move a budget, can move a debt ceiling increase, it actually changes the direction of this country, and nothing happened in the Senate, and the president not even producing a plan, it's hard to continue to move forward because we need them to do something. Republicans have sat down with this president for the last month, and still nothing has come out of it. All he wants to do is continue to spend more, and I think that's fundamental. He knows you can't continue down that path. We watched the stimulus. It cost $278,000 for every job the stimulus created. And that was $1 trillion we borrowed.
Well, Congressman Kevin McCarthy, we're just out of time right now this morning. I know Democrats say they've been working. It's the Republicans on the other side who have been unwilling to compromise. I know that's kind of what's going on in Washington right now. We're going to continue to follow it. Thanks for joining us here live this morning.
Thanks for having me.